Hello, welcome to next episode of Honest Dialogues. I've decided to change the background today because it's been kind of boring with my wallpaper. Anyways, what we're talking about today. Today, I thought I've been getting a few emails about creative brainstorms, what they're about, because so many designers, when they start their career, they're actually scared shitless of going to a brainstorm, imagining that this may be the worst day of their career. What if they don't perform? What if they don't create the biggest idea ever? Would they be cast away after this? So let's talk about brainstorm, what it is and how you when you start, or maybe even if you're doing this already, how do you approach this? Again, this is completely from my own perspective, from an old man's perspective. Remember when I told you about the brainstorm? So this will be it. I didn't rehearse this again as any of my other episodes. I will just say what I think. First, and the most important part: do not be scared of brainstorms. Brainstorms storm probably in your head. It's something ominous, something really tumultuous, and something really not collaborative, open, and funny. So the name, maybe we can forget about the name. Let's, I don't know, a thinking session or something like this. Think about it this way, right? So if you detach yourself from the name, the really angry and sad sounding name, it may already be better than brainstorm. Oh, brainstorm. No, forget about it. Okay, creative session, right? So our idea session or share session for that, or sprint or something like this, however you want to call it, right? Whatever makes you already more comfortable. How I approach this is that slightly different than from many of my friends. Many of my friends think of brainstorm as a place where idea has to be born, right? They often think, and I disagree with them 100%, is that this is the place where we have to leave with a ready recipe for X, Y, and Z, whatever. Is it a process? Is it a story? Is it the approach, or whatever you tackle at this session, right? I disagree with that. To me, this is just a preheating session. This is something, imagine, I often compare it to like a going to the gym, where you sort of make your muscles warmer. You a little bit go punch one or two things, and you start being in this mode. When you're ready to run, you sort of stretch, you do all this. So this is literally what's about to happen with your brain. There are many ways of participating in a brainstorm. You can write notes. You can sit silently in a corner. You can sit silently at the table, or you can voice your opinions. If you do not voice your opinion or actively participate in a brainstorm, it is completely okay. As long as you're paying attention, you're not like on YouTube watching Tomasz Opasiński doodling something, right? So as long as you're participating in this, you are able to come up with something that nobody else could. And it's often overlooked. Silent people, participants, are often overlooked and dismissed, but I highly discourage making this mistake. Silent people are the ones to watch, actually. Watch them. Like, I am always, if I don't have to lead, I am the silent dude that sits there and, processes all this. So if you come to the brainstorm, you are often presented with the problem to solve, right? You have a group of random or somewhat random people with certain different levels of seniority, juniority, and fields. Sometimes you have engineers meeting with designers. Filmmakers meeting with sound people, and script writers. So you have a group of talented people. Imagine this: each person has something cool in their head. So treat this session as exchange. Treat it as something that you can bring to the table, but not at any price. Don't just say whatever you think it is, although sometimes it's really good. But when you're on the flow, when you say random stuff, it tends to halt the meeting and prevents it from progress. Once you're on the flow with others of exchanging ideas, and you'll see it how it flows when one feeds off another, then pour more fire, more gasoline on this fire, right? Talk more, get this going. Random thoughts, I noticed from my experience, I tend to think really random. Those thoughts tend to stop and hinder a little bit a meeting. But once you create the flow, the flow is going. So you can I know it's kind of chaotic, right? Sorry. So one way to participate in a brainstorm is this vocal leadership, right? So you're leading brainstorm, you have a problem to solve, possible ways of figuring this out, always leaving others. Maybe you did not come up with this. Maybe somebody else during the meeting will come up with a path of solving it or redirecting into right direction. So when you're leading, you often present in a visual way, and I highly recommend to present any problem in a visual way, because verbally, one problem may be described in a really, really many ways and understood or misunderstood by people with a different language skills, people from different cultures, but visual aspect of it will bring you together. And I've noticed that every time I run those sessions, the visual is the key, and the visual is what we are gravitating around. Verbal, everybody has a different idea of verbal. Ask people what they think of calm, for example, or of how they imagine person running, or how they imagine sound, and you will get all sorts of ideas, right? So having a board, having something to ride on will be great for that. That I speak as a leader, right? I tend to not to prepare this, but have some sort of supporting imagery is great. Images that reflect a tone of what you're looking for, or the shape or form or the mood that you're trying to reach is often helpful, because other different people may think about it differently, right? So that's from a leadership. And you go through a process, you ask questions, you give people time to speak their mind, to think. Do not rush. When you rush, you literally may kill many good ideas, and when you're rushed as well, right? So give people time to think, to speak freely, to speak about topics that you would not normally talk. And here is one important stuff. With all the politeness going around, sometimes in the brainstorms, you may go too far. You find yourself that you may, said a little bit too much. You said something that may be, received in a wrong way. But to all participants in a brainstorm is to understand that this is the place where you go too far to know where not to go. So without this, you won't make a mistake. You won't you won't go too far. You won't know, okay, we're not going to use this. It comes to nudity, it comes to language, it comes to, sensitive topics. You have to be able to verbalize it in this moment. So the creative brainstorm, or the idea place, is the safest place that you ever have to voice your opinions and ideas. And everybody should understand it. So in your group, create a group that everything you say, it's safe to say. It may not go further. It may not be developed as an idea where others will, visualize that this is inappropriate, this is wrong, or this should not be voiced there. But it has to be said. So this is the magic of creative brainstorm. When you say what's in your head and you sort of weigh it, right? So one thing, don't be afraid to speak up. You may say something wrong, but this stays only within this group. It will never go on a poster, it will never go on the web. This is the magic of that. Once you discover this bit of information that may be wrong. Maybe there's something around that you can use that may be triggering emotions, but not be maybe, disastrous, right? So don't be afraid to speak up. Expect from others to understand that this is needed. I often had to design something that would never be used. And here is the reason why. You design it, you spend time on stuff that will never be used for this particular reason, to visualize to others that this is wrong, this is inappropriate, this is not the right for this project, this is not legible, but you have to visualize it for others that cannot actually visualize it otherwise. So as a designer, as a creative, you have to go to certain areas, enable others to see what you're seeing. So don't be afraid of that. This is part of your job. You're not only creating stuff that it will be used widely. No. You have to design stuff that will never be available anywhere for others to understand not to use it. So I hope I make sense. Then as a participant, right? If the topic is directed to you and you're in a loop prior to meeting, familiarize yourself. Spend the time on imagining things. Do research. Online research is only one of the researches. Ask others what they think about topic, right? Do not be afraid and tackle it. Like literally, okay, here is the problem. Let me find possible solutions for that. These may be off. Or, what is very important, your idea may not be the one, but your idea may trigger the idea that is the one. And for that, it's needed. It's like a step on a ladder. So don't be afraid if you're participating in a brainstorm that you always have to be on the top and be under this pressure. You'll just look plain stupid if you do that, right? If you try to outsmart of everybody, you just plainly look stupid. But participate in this. Give them, if somebody is better with coming with this idea, give them all the elements, all the Lego blocks, and have them process this in their head. Right? So this is how the group should work. It's not that everybody's the smartest and I'll be the smartest of the smartest, right? No, you feel who has what kind of strength. These people can imagine voice. These people can imagine voice in space. And now we're talking, right? So don't be afraid to be quiet. Don't be afraid to react after the meeting. So as I said at the beginning, we're running a little bit long, but this is a really interesting topic. To me, the meeting is not the moment where you have to come up with this idea. Allow yourself and your mind to process what's been said at the meeting. And as a manager, as a creative leader, give people this time to process this. In a meeting, in a 45 minutes or an hour, there is a lot of sharpshooters. They're shooting ideas that have been done in the past and they think they can go through with this. They may. That's totally fine. But all those ideas, imagine if you hear 20 ideas and you go into a quiet place or whatever place that makes you happy and think, shower, I don't know. Then you mishmash all this together. You bounce it together and see what's valid. And then a day later or 2 days later, this idea may come to life. You may create something from those ideas. So when you're sitting quietly there or participating fully, verbally in written form, or you are sketching on the wall, it's totally fine. But allow yourself for everything, all this information to sink in and be processed, be randomized by your brain and react to it. So I never expect of my designers and art directors to come up with a brilliant idea on the spot there. Because this is the most unnatural place to come up with the idea. When you have 30 people screaming over each other with some random thoughts, it is kind of random to come up, to me at least, to my brain, right? I've seen things happening in those meetings, and bravo. If somebody can perform in a space like this, awesome. But don't be afraid. Don't be scared of this space, right? If you're starting, go to the brainstorm, participate if you can, or go to few and listen, and then learn how to navigate this, right? Learn when to add a node to the process. What can build this idea? What can elevate it, right? What in your life that is only your life, nobody else's, can enhance this idea? What experience you may have for this that others don't? What if all the dudes are from Poland and you come from New Zealand and you're like, in New Zealand, we do this way. And Polish guys will be like, That's interesting. And this is where you start, right? So I highly encourage you to participate. Prepare any elements that you can use in the brainstorm. Don't be shy of sharing the ideas. Don't be shy of sharing your thoughts and ideas with the group. Don't be afraid to ask others for help. It's totally fine. If it's not your full idea, it's totally fine to combine all them. You are working for the greater good, not for your gallery approach. This is not your gallery out there. So I'm speaking from a commercial perspective, right? It's often like, it blows my mind how people think of schools as that every single school should prepare you for your job. I have not heard biggest bullshit ever. School is not there to prepare you for your job. School is to give you information in your head so you can use it in the future. That's not for your job. Your job can change in a week, and so what? You're going to redo 5 years of school? Anyways, I'm just venting here a little bit. So brainstorms are awesome. Do it as much as you can. And what do? It's like, oh, by the way, sidetrack. The best friends that I have are the ones that I brainstormed with a lot. We know each other really, really well. And you will see after 2, 3 years or 5 years of brainstorming with certain group of people, how your minds can, oh my God, sync in a way, right? You will see with which people you achieve more and which people are just disturbance. You can influence them. You can help them actually. Like if you do certain exercises on your creativity, on your patterns, on your problem solving skills, you can achieve that. So go into brainstorms, be brave, just take it and do it. And even and those who are managing, please watch out for silent brainstormers. They are really thinking. So whenever others are screaming and drawing and painting and I don't know, searching online, they are thinking. So ask them, poke them a little bit here. Hey, what are you thinking about? What's in your head? What that we said that triggered your silence actually? Not to, so it's awesome to ask what triggered your silence than what triggered you screaming here on this brainstorm. So as a creative leaders, watch for everybody. Watch for their, body language. Are they interested? Are they not? Ask. Bring them into the conversation if possible. If they're deeply in their thoughts, leave them to themselves. Let them think. Talk with those who love to talk, and leave those silent ones at the end of the table. Let them draw, and they will do something cool. So enjoy your brainstorms, or however you want to call it. Don't be scared. And don't think that your idea must be the best idea ever, always. Often, maybe 1 in 60 ideas will be truly yours. The rest is true collaboration. And this is how creative business works. It is a sum of others. If you happen to be the one to summarize it, freaking awesome. That's good for you. But if you have few that help you to get there, it's very important. Like, keep this team as long as you can. So this is it for today, and I will see you probably next Wednesday. Bye. Okay, bye.